It's time for Tech Support, our weekly segment all about technology and shares of one of the biggest tech companies out there, Nvidia, taking a hit today after news the company is expecting President Trump's curbs on Chinese exports will cost the company $5.5 billion. Meanwhile, President Trump touted Nvidia's investment in the U.S. on Truth Social, calling it big and exciting news. I want to bring in Yahoo Finance tech editor Dan Howley. Dan, good to see you. Will Trump's tariffs really bring tech manufacturing to the U.S.?
Long story short, no. This is something that is kind of akin to what Apple did with their $500 billion announcement saying we're investing $500 billion over 4 years. But it's not necessarily all, like iPhone production lines or anything like that. It's about building servers in certain factories and spending on other things. With Nvidia, it's about producing some of their Blackwell chips at TSMC plants in Arizona. But this isn't, a wholesale movement of Nvidia's supply chain or any company's supply chain to the U.S. And that's just not going to happen anytime soon. In fact, a number of analysts that I spoke with basically said, look, this is a way for these companies to kind of play the game and ensure that they're on Trump's good side while also making kind of strategic investments. Obviously, TSMC has been building plants. They have $165 billion earmarked for plants in Arizona. Companies like AMD, Nvidia, as I mentioned, Apple, they're using those plants to build these chips. But it's not the volume that is going to, the type of volume that's going to fulfill all of the needs of the U.S., let alone the world. And I think this is, as I said, more about strategic relationships with Trump than anything else.
So is it really possible to deglobalize the tech industry? And what type of risks are we talking about here?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not, right? I mean, look at things like just silicon, right? The actual wafers themselves come from different parts of the world. I mean, you just break down a semiconductor, and all of these pieces, it's a global industry. It's impossible to move these things just into the U.S. That's wild. And so that's just the chips, right? And then you look at everything else that use the chips, right? Smartphones. If you want to try to build iPhones in America, you can maybe do the final assembly here, but you still have different pieces coming from different parts of the world. And it's not just Southeast Asia and China, though that's where a huge majority of the pieces come from. It's also areas of Europe and South America, things along those lines. So this is something that appears to be more of a fool's errand than anything else. It's more about, look, the Biden administration had this idea of ensuring that there was more semiconductor capacity in the U.S., which makes sense. But semiconductor capacity means building the chips. There's more steps to just building the chips. There's, as I said, the silicon, there's the packaging. Those need other plants. It's not just like, you push in a bunch of like a silicon wafer and out comes a chip that you then drop into a computer. It's much more complicated than that. And so it is truly a global supply chain. There's really no way to fully onshore all of tech manufacturing, let alone a piece of tech manufacturing like that.
And you make a great point in that it's always back to it's everything from the natural resources in the type of silicon you're being able to get and the raw materials, all the way through the packaging, the product, the lithography that takes place as well. So much to consider here. Dan, thanks so much for breaking this down for us.
For sure.